Coming up next at 5.
Right here on WJZ.
Majority Whip Steve Scalise returns to Capitol Hill after he was shot during a congressional baseball practice. What he told lawmakers today about his grueling recovery.
Russian ads that flooded Facebook during the presidential campaign. I'm Rick Ritter with more on the attempt to even target voters here in Baltimore. We'll break it all down coming up.
Don't touch me! A college professor kicked off a plane before takeoff from BWI. I'm Kimberline with the cell phone video that caught it all and why this time people are applauding the airline. That's next on WJZ.
Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now.
This is WJZ TV, Baltimore.
In your community, where you live, now. It's WJZ, Maryland's news station.
Triumphant return. Congressman Steve Scalise back on Capitol Hill after he was shot and gravely wounded.
I'm definitely a living example that miracles really do happen.
His long recovery and the outpouring of support.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Cartalia.
I'm Mary Bubala. Here's what people are talking about.
Majority Whip Steve Scalise returned to Capitol Hill today to cheers and a standing ovation. Denise joins us with more on the congressman's warm welcome back to the Capitol. Denise?
Well, Jessica, it has been more than 100 days since the Louisiana congressman was shot during a practice for a congressional baseball game. A packed House chamber enthusiastically welcomed back Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise.
You have no idea how great this feels to be back here at work in the People's House.
Scalise has been out of sight recovering from his wounds after a gunman opened fire at a Republican baseball practice ahead of the annual congressional charity game in June.
When I was laying out on that ball field, the first thing I did once I was down and I couldn't move anymore is I just started to pray.
Scalise said he prayed for the 2 U.S. Capitol Police officers who helped take down the shooter. Officer David Bailey was in the chamber today.
David, you are my hero. You saved my life. Thank you so much.
Scalise was hit in the hip. The bullet tore through bones and internal organs. He talked to Nora O'Donnell for 60 Minutes about the doctors who saved his life.
There was a lot of damage inside that had to get fixed.
They put you back together again.
They put me back together again.
Today, the 51-year-old also thanked them and many others.
While some people might focus on a tragic event and an evil act, to me, all I remember are the thousands of acts of kindness and love and warmth that came out of this. Thank you so much.
Scalise is walking with crutches and will still need physical therapy at least 3 days a week. Now, Scalise said the last 3 months have been challenging, but the outpouring of support from complete strangers, world leaders, and lawmakers from both sides of the aisle helped give him strength. Jessica.
Denise, thank you. Scalise's return follows an appearance he made on CBS's 60 Minutes, which is set to air this Sunday on WJZ at 7:30.
Well, the Ravens announced new performers are scheduled to sing the national anthem before Sunday's Ravens-Steelers game at M&T Bank Stadium. A vocal trio from the United States Air Force Heritage of America Band will sing the Star-Spangled Banner before the next game. This comes after former Ravens national anthem singer Joey Odoms announced his resignation this week. Odoms said he made the decision after the Ravens and other NFL teams kneeled during the anthem before last Sunday's games. Well, Facebook's scandal: more than 3,000 ads were purchased by Russians during the presidential election. Tonight, we're learning at least one of those ads specifically targeted Baltimore. WJZ is live downtown. Rick Ritter breaks it all down for us. Rick?
Well, Mary, congressional investigators are trying to figure out how widespread this operation was. They say the goal of the ads was to not only create chaos here in Baltimore, but across the country. These are the ads purchased by Russian internet trolls, desperate to highlight divisions among Americans. CBS News has now confirmed at least one of the 3,000 ads specifically targeted Baltimore, Ferguson, and the Black Lives Matter movement, shedding light on just how sophisticated the attack was.
It's bothersome that they have enough information about our vulnerabilities.
The ads are believed to have been purchased during the late 2015, early 2016 presidential campaign, targeting cities with some of the most violent protests during that time, Baltimore one of them. Just months after the city was engulfed in turmoil following the death of Freddie Gray.
There's the political discord where people could be discouraged from voting.
Ben Yellen with the University of Maryland Department of Health and Homeland Security.
We don't know exactly how they knew that these communities would be particularly vulnerable for targeting. That question has been left unanswered.
Earlier this month, Facebook agreed to take those ads that were purchased by Russians and turn them over to Congress. Officials say while some NFL players protested on Sunday, Russian trolls were flooding social media with hashtag boycott the NFL and hashtag take a knee.
They were taking both sides of the argument this past weekend and pushing them out from their troll farms as much as they could to try to just raise the noise level in America.
What some say has become the new frontier in trying to create a climate of instability.
I think that could have significant long-term damage.
Officials say the million-dollar question is, how did Russia know who to target, how to target through Facebook? Facebook says they are now making sweeping changes to the way they handle political advertisement. Back to you on TV Hill.
All right, Rick, thank you. Facebook says it has found and shut down thousands of fake accounts that have attempted to influence elections around the world.
More than a week after Hurricane Maria tore through Puerto Rico, the island nation is still without food, water, fuel, and much-needed medicine. The Trump administration moved this morning to waive restrictions on foreign ships allowing deliveries from U.S. ports into Puerto Rico. With Puerto Rico's electrical grid in shambles after Maria, gasoline and diesel have become liquid gold. The island's 3.4 million residents desperately need it to fuel their generators and to light their homes and businesses. In northern Puerto Rico, Civil Air Patrol conducted an aerial survey to get a closer look at all of the damage. Most roads are still blocked by debris, keeping essential supplies from reaching their destinations. Bob Turk is in the First Warning Weather Center tracking what's left of Maria. Bob?
Well, finally, we're going to say goodbye to Maria in a couple of days. It's now about 450 miles or so east of the Carolina coast, continues to move out. It's now a tropical storm with winds around 65 with some higher gusts, but it's picking up speed, moving east at 13 miles an hour. By tomorrow, we expect it to be probably moving east, northeast at around 20 to 25 miles an hour. The only real influence along the east coast now, some higher than normal surf and waves will continue probably for the next day and a half before Maria is far enough away that it won't influence the east coast. But certainly we still have some of those issues right along the beaches, from Massachusetts all the way down to the Carolinas over the next 24 to 48 hours. And all the models do push it way out to the east northeast. And take a look at that, the way it looks on the SatRad. It's still got a circular shape to it, but it's way out to sea. The winds are beginning to diminish. The water is much colder out there, so we're beginning to lose its tropical characteristics. By sometime Friday or Saturday, it'll be what we call non-tropical system. And believe it or not, in about 4 to 5 days, it may actually bring winds and rain to the British Isles as it heads off to the east-northeast. We'll take a look at our local weather coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Bob, thanks. Stay with WJZ for complete coverage of the impact on Maria. We will keep you updated on the long recovery ahead in the Caribbean.
Actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus says she has been diagnosed with breast cancer. The star of the hit TV shows Veep and Seinfeld posted about her illness today on social media. The actress wrote that 1 in 8 women get breast cancer, adding, "Today, I am the one." Louis-Dreyfus used her tweet to call for universal health care. The actress won her 6th Emmy Award this month for Veep, which used to tape right here in the Baltimore area.
Another shocking cell phone video taken inside a grounded plane. It captures the moments police at BWI moved in Tuesday to forcibly remove a Micah College professor from her seat. This time, witnesses and travelers say they support the airline and police in this decision. WJZ is live at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. Kimberly Eaton has more reaction to the dramatic video. Kimberly?
Well, Jessica, we've seen a handful of passengers removed by force during the last few months, usually ending in an apology from the airline. But this time, the woman taken off the plane is looking at a court date.
Don't touch me! Let's walk! Don't touch me!
2 minutes and 31 seconds of dramatic cell phone video inside a Southwest airplane on the BWI tarmac, waiting for takeoff Tuesday night.
What are you doing?
Come on, lady, let's go.
Capturing the moments a local college professor traded her college credentials for criminal charges.
I'm a professor. What are you doing?
46-year-old Anila Dalatazai is a MICA professor. Thursday, the college declined to comment, but the court documents say plenty. Dalatazai left here under arrest, now facing a handful of charges, including disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Don't touch me!
Witnesses say what started as a verbal complaint launched into a full-blown confrontation with police after she claimed to be deathly allergic to 2 dogs on board, including a service animal, but couldn't show proof.
If she really had a deadly allergy to the dog, the sensible thing for her would have been to get off the plane.
When police moved in to move Dalatazai out, you can hear passengers in the background yelling at her to leave the plane.
Jeez, lady, get off the plane.
Frequent flyer William Ehrenstein is one of many travelers to tell WJZ in this instance, he backs the airline.
The Southwest was being asked to decide between 2 passengers.
Southwest did issue a statement reading, quote, "Our policy states that a customer without a medical certificate may be denied boarding if they report a life-threatening allergic reaction and cannot travel safely with an animal on board." And WJZ spoke with MICA students today. None had heard about the incident, and again, still no official comment from the college. Reporting live at BWI tonight, I'm Kim Eaton, WJZ Eyewitness News.
Kimberly, thank you. The plane did eventually make it to its final stop in Los Angeles late Tuesday night.
A Southwest Airlines glitch caused a delay across the world. Airport officials say the system-wide glitch was reported late last night, putting all Southwest flights on a minor delay. The glitch was resolved this morning by 8 o'clock. Officials say airport operations were not impacted and there were no cancellations, but there were definitely longer lines than normal at airports, including at BWI Thurgood Marshall. Well, the ATF is called to investigate a massive warehouse fire in South Baltimore. The 4-alarm blaze engulfed the building in Brooklyn on Patapsco Avenue, sending smoke billowing into the sky. Investigators say 90% of the 94,000 square foot space was destroyed. Firefighters spent several days battling those hot spots. No injuries have been reported.
Well, autumn is starting to move in with cooler temperatures today. Taking a live look outside, we should get our first taste of fall in a few days. Meteorologist Tim Williams is live with the WJZ Mobile Weather Lab at Lake Montebello. Hi, Tim.
Well, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, I should say. Temperatures here with the WJZ Mobile Weather Lab just across from the reservoir here at Lake Montebello in northeast Baltimore, just around 76 degrees. We've been holding steady in the mid-70s all afternoon, down from 90 degrees yesterday, and certainly you notice the humidity levels have dropped as well. Let's take a look at some of the numbers across the state. Temperatures have been pretty comfortable overall, with sunshine and blue skies, hardly a cloud to be found anywhere. Temperature range just around 59 degrees in Oakland, 78 degrees down in Ocean City, in Baltimore, and in D.C. We have 80 degrees in Patuxent River and 81 in Frederick. These temperatures, while they're still above the average, are on the cool side compared to the last few days we've had by about 13 degrees in Westminster, 9 degrees in Baltimore, and 10 degrees in D.C. Look at 14 degrees cooler in Hagerstown today than 24 hours ago. Now, what are we expecting for the first, well, the transition, we'll call it, the last day of September, the first few days of October? Well, look at this. The average now is 73 degrees, soon to be 72. We're going down 1 degree or so each day. Well, tomorrow we're looking at temperatures around 73, and look how cool it gets on Saturday, 69. And then we gradually climb 71, 73, and 75. But we'll call that seasonably normal. Temperatures right on target for the average high for this time of year. Bob will have your complete first warning forecast coming up in just a few moments. For now, meteorologist Tim Williams with the WJZ Mobile Weather Lab in northeast Baltimore in Lake Montebello, sending it back to you on Television Hill.
Thanks, Tim. Remember to download WJZ's weather app to keep track of our changing weather, get hourly, daily, and extended forecasts and severe weather warnings. Search WJZ Weather and get the CBS Baltimore app. I like the warm weather myself.
I know. I'm in that camp as well, but
enjoy it.
Exactly. We've had it for a nice long time. Still ahead on Eyewitness News at 5.
A former elementary school aide sentenced for child sex abuse and child pornography. How much time did he get? The answer coming up.
I'm Alex Dimitri, and coming up, food truck operators go to court to open up more of Baltimore. That story as Eyewitness News continues.
I'm Mike Shute at the City Springs Middle Elementary School, one of the poorest schools in this city. But the kids here were touched by what they saw happen in the hurricane in Houston, and they set a fundraising goal, and they doubled it. Hear their story coming up next.
And as we told you, it's starting to feel more like fall as the temperatures start to drop. You don't want to miss the updated first warning weather forecast with Bob.
Eyewitness News continues with Mary Bubala, Jessica Cartalia, First Warning Weather with Bob Turk, meteorologist Tim Williams, and Sports with Mark Viviano, covering the stories that affect you. It's WJZ, Maryland's news station.